So 3.5, I want to talk about tables, equations, and graphs. So what's going on here is we want to try to learn to generate different representations of the same data. So here we want to learn to generate different representations of the same data. Okay, so number one, my representation comes from equations, tables, and graphs. So number one, we want to make a table and sketch a graph of the path of a submersible diving at 50 feet per minute. The depth of the submersible is represented by the equation d equals to negative 50 m, where d is the depth and m is the number of minutes. So now my representation as an equation is d equals to negative 50 m. Okay, and my representation as a table comes from m, negative 50 m, and then d. So it comes from 0. Negative 50 times 0 is 0, and then 1. Negative 50 times 1 is negative 50, and then 2. Negative 50 times 2 is negative 100. 3. Negative 50 times 3 is negative 150. 4. Negative 50 times 4 is negative 200. So this is a table that identifies the value that makes the function true. So number 3, we can also use a graph. So this is x-axis and y-axis. And this is 0. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I get negative 50, negative 100, negative 150, negative 200, negative 250. So I get 0, 0, 1 is negative 50, 2 is negative 100, 3 is negative 150, 4 is negative 200, 5 is negative 250. So it looks like this. Okay. So now example 2, we want to try to use the table to make a graph and to write an equation. So to write an equation from data in the table, we need to look for a pattern in the data. So we want to look for changes in the input values and the changes in the output values. And we have to see how the changes are related. So number 1, how do we use the table to make a graph and then eventually write an equation? So let's make a graph. This is x and y. So I got 0, 0 here. And 1 goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I think I need a lot of y here. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24. Okay. So 6 is here, 1 is here. So 1 and 6. This is 0, 0, and then 2 is 12, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 3 and 18, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then 4 is 24. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So, like this. And then we want to look for a pattern in the value 6 equals to 6 times 1, 12 equals to 6 times 2, 18 equals to 6 times 3. So y equals to 6 times x. Okay, so to find an equation from a graph, it will be easier to first create a value, then we look for a pattern. So now, example 3, we want to use graph to generate different representation. So in order to do this, I first make a table. And my x, -1, -2, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. -2 goes -1, -1 goes 0, 0 goes 1, 1 goes 2, 2 goes 3. So we know from here to here, this is +1, +1. So I can say equation is y equals to x plus 1.